Hey, what's going on, guys? John Shea here from the No Shame Income blog, and today I'm going to be talking about how I actually got a testimonial from one of the biggest names in our space. His name is John Lee Dumas. He actually runs a blog and podcast called The Entrepreneur on Fire. So before I dive in and give you a little bit more details about today's video, if you guys are brand new here in the channel, be sure to throw me a thumbs up on the video. And if you actually go back and leave me a comment on the video, I will actually go back and reply to your comment. As well as if you're brand new on the channel, be sure to subscribe, and I release new videos each and every week. So yeah, let's dive into today's video. I'm gonna walk you through a little bit of how I went about doing this. All right, cool. So today I'm gonna be talking about how I went out and got, again, a testimonial here from one of the biggest names in our space right now. His name is John Lee Dumas. And John was actually someone who started many years ago with a podcast, and was someone that I really looked up to as I was starting out with my own podcast journey. I was spending a lot of time just learning about how to get my podcast started, how to go out there and interview people. And John had just released a program he called Podcaster's Paradise. And I was able to get into the program during their early beta. Basically, I got it at like the cheapest price possible. And when I came into the program, I realized that John was actually doing most of his recording using Skype software. And I had been basically running a podcast at the time where I'd been using doing a lot of my interviews using Google Hangouts. And Google Hangouts was another real alternative to maybe using Skype. So I offered to John 100% for free. I said, you know what, John, I would love to help you record some content for showing people how to use Google Hangouts for recording their podcast episodes, and kind of walk them through the process of how the recording work, how to actually use the Google Hangouts platform, how to take those recordings and then publish them to the platforms to actually put that onto a podcast, and really walk people through that entire process. So I offered to do this, and of course, it was very easy for him to say yes. I pretty much just handed him free information that his members could use, and was really going to benefit all of the people that were now coming into this Podcaster's Paradise paid program. So I went ahead and I made all these tutorials. I got a lot of really positive feedback from a lot of the members, and I continued to do some of this stuff. And John actually did, I remember there was an occasional event that he would run, like a weekly event where all the members would come on a call and ask questions, and he would be helping people with their own podcasts. And I decided, why don't I join in on a few of these, even though I was already feeling pretty confident in what I was doing. He actually had me take over, I remember, one of the calls, and just kind of like sort of run it for a few minutes while he was gone and doing other things. So that was kind of cool. It was very brief, but it was just kind of made me feel like a little bit of an authority in the space. And I felt that I was really able to build a good connection by simply offering something for free without asking for anything in return. And when the time came, I was actually working a little bit on, about a year later, I was working on a little project where I wanted to start building out membership websites and offering to do this in return for a fee. And of course, I had already had some experience helping John with his membership site and doing some content for him and helping him with that. So I figured, why not ask him for a testimonial? And I just specifically gave him exactly what I wanted. He came back and recorded this really awesome video for me, which I can now use for this service, or for similar services I might be offering around doing online courses, offering to build membership websites, and anything really within that kind of space, which is something I'm very passionate about. So I thought I'd share this little video with you guys today, because really the point of all this is, no matter who the person is, I don't care how big of an influencer they are, or maybe you might be looking at some of these people that are doing extremely well in our industry and going, I could never build a connection with this person. But really all that I did was I offered to help, and I did something without asking for anything in return. And because of doing that, he was very receptive and was more than willing to give me that testimonial, right? If I had reached out to him and said, hey John, I need this testimonial, and he had never talked to me before, he had never heard from me in any capacity, of course, he's gonna say no. And this was something that it really wasn't very difficult to do. I didn't spend even really all that much time putting together those videos I did for his membership, but it was still something that was beneficial for not only him and the members, but it really was a win-win-win for everybody involved. And when it came time, a year later, when I needed something in return, all I had to do was ask. And the other thing that was great about this was it put me in a position where I knew, like-minded people, and it would open up doors to more connections, things where I'd have this opportunity if maybe he interviewed someone on his podcast, I could say, hey, could you make an introduction for me? I'd love to interview this person as well. And I now have opened the possibility, that opened the doors to doing something like this. So yeah, I wanted to throw this quick video for you, together for you guys today to kind of give you a little bit of lesson on how I've been able to go out there and build relationships. One example, one little story of how I was able to do this. And if you're trying to get more testimonials, you're trying to build rapport and build relationships with influencers, this is a great way to do it, is ultimately by offering something without asking for anything in return. Make it valuable, and when the time comes, go and ask them for something in return that's reasonable, and I guarantee you could probably get something in return, because they're gonna feel like they're a little bit obligated to hopefully help you out in return. And if someone had come to me and helped me with something, of course I'm gonna help them in return. Even at the time of recording this video, I've actually got a call set up with someone today who we've been bouncing ideas off each other for years, and he recently came to me and said, can you help me with Facebook bots? I don't know anything about it. I know you've done some stuff with it. Can you help me? And of course I'm gonna do that, because this is someone I'm now friends with. They've built a name for themselves in this space, and of course it's just a good opportunity for all of us involved. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.